All right, this is Enoch session 2. And we were in chapter 5, verse 8 of Enoch about these end times, this day of distress and tribulation. And he goes on here and says in verse 8, let me read that again. When wisdom is given to the chosen, they will all live and will not again do wrong, either through forgetfulness or through pride, but those who possess wisdom will be humble. Now, all of these are bellwethers on the American Christian populace here now. Most everybody has forgetfulness of a lot of these laws. You ask somebody about duty of the husband's brother, or you ask them about, paying a bride price for your wife, or not signing contracts with the bail god, down here at the courthouse when you take a wife, and and all these different laws. They've forgotten these laws. How to keep the Feast of Tabernacles and all that. Or through pride. Now in America, we have the biggest pride going. We even have songs about it, proud to be an American and all that. And our pride is really up to here. Even though we haven't got too much to be proud about anymore. We took God out of school, the Ten Commandments down out of school. No more reading the Bible from school. It used to be, in the old days, they actually read from the Bible in public school, Book of John, and you do your study, you'll find out. Now we took all that out. And we promote all this wickedness, and we got shootings like crazy in school, and we've got people ruling over us that are very wicked and evil. And we still have the pride, though. It's amazing. We still have the pride. Proud to be an American. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway. But he says, who's going to possess the kingdom? It's going to be the humble. The people that, that can take correction, that can say, yeah, I was wrong there. I didn't do the right thing there, but I'm going to redouble my efforts and study these laws and try a little harder. And I'm going to quit following the crowd and doing my own way. And he says the humble will inherit the kingdom. That's the thing that the Messiah says in Matthew 5. So Enoch here is in full agreement with it, and he's letting you know that the sinners will not receive mercy. We covered that in session 1. And it's astonishing. He really lets you know that this sounds just the same as a lot of these other chapters. I'm going to go on and... There's in chapter 93.8 of Enoch, he says, and after this, in the 6th week, all those who live in it will be blinded, and the hearts of them all, lacking wisdom, will sink into impiety. And in it a man will ascend, and at its end the house of sovereignty will be burnt with fire, and in it the whole race of the chosen root will be scattered. Now, this is exactly what is going on with the daughter of Babylon, this end-time United States. We get utterly burned with fire. I've covered this in a bunch of other sessions. Utterly burned with fire in one day. And he says he scatters his people, this remnant, to the four corners of the earth, and he scatter and all the rest of it. And there's nobody going to live here anymore. It's going to be utterly burned in a nuclear bomb war with Russia and Iran and Syria and Turkey. And they're named in Jeremiah 50 and 51, and you can read all about it. Well, this is the same thing he's saying. This is the same thing. And this describes us to a T. People here are blinded. They think we're still doing good bombing those poor Libyans and those Afghanis, and now we're over there giving it to the Syrians. And Isaiah 17, I covered that in another session, covers what's going to happen. We're going to stir up those Syrians enough that they destroy Damascus. Either we're going to destroy it with them, or they're going to destroy it. Our forces that we pay on the grounds, and we fund them, the Al-Qaeda and all these guys that we're sending at them. The same guys we sent to Libya. Well, we're blinded over here. The average person thinks they're doing good to put up Christmas trees. The average person thinks they're doing to keep Christmas. They think they're doing good to teach Jesus to everybody and not these laws, and to tell them that the laws have been done away with and you can still sin and still be saved. And they couldn't be more deceived. He tells you here what's going to happen to the sinners. Going on, he says, and the hearts of them all, lacking wisdom, will sink into impiety. But, this is just describing us so accurately. It's terrible. It's terrible. And this man that will ascend at the end of this, I think this is either talking about Obama or the prince over there in England that's going to ascend up and be the head of the beast system that comes on the end time. But this house of sovereignty, that's us over here. We were sovereigns, and it's interesting that everyone here, it's interesting he calls us the house of sovereignty. Did you know that we're sovereigns without subjects over here in America? And Most people don't know that, but it's the sovereigns, the people, that created this place. We, the people, and but he says what's going to happen to us. We're going to be burnt with fire. He's describing that same one day, utterly burned with fire. And the chosen race will be scattered. Most people do not know that we're descended of Israel, and we're the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Going on, in this is chapter 101.8. He said, "Did he not make heaven and earth and everything that is in them? And who gave knowledge and wisdom to all things that move on the ground and in the sea? And do not those captains of ships fear the sea? Yet sinners do not fear the Most High." Now that describes us Americans over here to a T. They do not fear. In fact, it's bad to talk about fear anymore. They do not fear the Most High. Boy, they should. They think it's all peace, love, joy, and mercy, and no bad will come upon us. For 70 million abortions, for bombing indiscriminate nations over there, for a sodomite marriage. I mean, I'm just touching on a few of them. You probably could list off a whole lot more without trying too hard. 102.1 goes on and says this, "And in those days, if he brings a fierce fire upon you, where will you flee? And where will you be safe? And when he utters his voice against you, will you not be terrified and afraid?" You hear that? This is Enoch telling you what's going to come on the end generation, the last generation. If you didn't listen to segment 1, go back and listen to it. This is written to you and I at this end time, just before he brings in the kingdom, before we get the 3.5 years of the real bad rain, and then his angels return and do the mop-up job, do more burning. 102 goes on, and you notice he says the same thing. Fierce fire upon you. He's going to bring fierce fire upon you through your enemy's bright, shiny arrows, listed in Jeremiah 51. That's those nuclear bombs that Russia's been testing over there, and they're giving away to everybody else that's on their side, and we think we're the good guys on the good side, and they're the bad guys on the bad side. No, everybody's the bad guy. You find out we're bad guys, and they're bad guys. Nobody is obeying the Heavenly Father and keeping His commandments. Going on, 102.2, "And all the lights will shake with great fear, and the whole earth will be terrified, and will tremble and quail." Now this is what's going to happen. It gets nuked. The whole earth will tremble, and it says what they're going to do. They're going to give their power all over to the beast. Going on to 102.3, "And all the angels will carry out their commands, and will seek to hide from the one who is great in glory, and the children of the earth will tremble and shake, and you sinners will be cursed forever, and will not have peace." It does not go good for sinners. People that are saying, "I'm a sinner, and I can't do anything about it." Yes, you can. You got to start keeping these laws. Which one of these 10 commandments can't you keep? Just start listing off which ones, and then start, picking on them and start figuring out, well, can you keep the Sabbath and not go shopping and not work on that day? And can you keep from going after the neighbor's wife? You can have 2 or 3 of your own if you want. Just go buy them. People hate these laws, though. They gnash at these laws, and apparently we like our own laws. Going on, 102.4, "Do not be afraid, you souls of the righteous, and be hopeful, you who have died in righteousness." And then continuing and jumping down to chapter 108.1. This may be numbered differently in Lawrence. I think this one's numbered differently in Lawrence. I'm reading from the numbering that was in the McCracken version. Going on, he says, "Another book which Enoch wrote to his son Methuselah, and for those who should come after him and keep the law in the last days." That's who this is written to. Those of you out there that are keeping the law in the last days. We're in the last days. 108.2, he says, "You who have observed and are waiting in these days, until an end shall be made of those who do evil, and an end shall be made of the power of the wrongdoers." That's what we need to be looking forward to. In the kingdom, there's not going to be all these evil wrongdoers leading and all that. You need to look forward. It's just on the horizon. It's only a few years away. It's in your lifetime. It's in your lifetime, if you make it out of the burning and everything that's going on. 108.3, "Do indeed wait until sin shall pass away, for their names shall be erased from the books of the holy ones, and their offspring will be destroyed forever, and their spirits will be killed, and they will cry out and moan in a chaotic desert place, and will burn in fire, for there is no earth there." He's describing again over here in America, because he says it's going to be like a desert. If you're reading Jeremiah and Isaiah about the daughter of Babylon, it says this place can be turned like a desert. After the nuclear bombs burn up all the trees and the grass and all that, this is going to turn into a desert kind of place. It's going to really be bad. It's not going to grow food here anymore. There's going to be so much radiation, wormwood. And he says they will burn in the fire, and there's no earth there. I think he's talking about topsoil, because he obviously said it's a desert place. And verse 4, and there I saw something like a cloud, which could not be discerned, for because of the depth of it, and I was not able to look into it. And the flames of fire I saw burning brightly, like the bright mountains, revolved and shook from side to side. I think he's witnessing this. He's witnessing nuclear bomb wars, what he's trying to describe to you. Struggling sounds like to me from the old vernaculars. Going on, I asked one of the holy angels who were with me, what is this bright place? For there's no sky, but only flames of burning and fire and sounds of crying and weeping and moaning and severe pain. Man, we're 1:30 and 10:30 in. Well, that's the Book of Enoch and the salient verses about these end times. I encourage you to pick it up. It's written to our end time. Thanks and hallelujah.